You don't know when.
I am so exhausted.
I didn't expect you to be up, quite frankly.
I have to be up. I have to be at my computer for work. So don't have a choice. Here I am. I'm just. I've been up since 7, so got to bed at 1:30. Had to get the dogs calmed down. They were super excited we were back.
Yeah, that always happens when mama gets home. They're like, yes, 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 yes. Trying to tell you everything.
Yeah, it was fun just getting them calmed down and then finally getting ready for bed and laying down. I'm just I'm shot. But it's nice to be back at 17 feet above sea level as opposed to 4,000. It's much easier to breathe here. Almost missed our connection in Charlotte. We had a rough time. Let's just leave it at that. My poor 75-year-old aunt, we had to get her a wheelchair to run through the airport. And I broke my cane in the process, so it was even more fun.
Ay.
It's all good. We made it home. Everybody is safe, and I am happy. So it's all good. It all went well. Everything, it's all that mattered to me. My mom really was happy. So it was all good. All good. I'm not sure what I've missed in the news because I honestly have not been on top of things as well as I normally am, but I'm here.
I'm glad you are. It's just the three of us. Mrs. Marlin obviously came in to help get the space on the other platforms, but it's going to take a minute. I know Marlon usually adds the community when he starts the space. I wonder, should I just restart it? Add the community? I don't know. What do you think? Have you ever started a space, Nika? They give you the option to add a community to it. And, well, never mind.
It's been a while since I started one, so
I always forget to do that. Or it adds that in there. Super exciting. We got Terry. Maybe just the four of us will just do it today, and we'll cut it short.
good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Nika. It took a second for my mic to pop up there. Good morning, Truth. Oh, ye of little faith, this space will fill up.
Well, I'm kind of hoping it doesn't.
Oh, stop. You're good.
My mic sound okay, Nika, Truth?
Yeah, I mean, I know you were experimenting with some different way to do it, but yeah, it seems to work fine.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's just a cheap earbud thing with an inline mic. You would probably pick up at any, cheap store, trucking stop, truck stop. My brain's not working yet. Good morning, Tinfoil and American and Kristen.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to get more coffee.
Truth, I'm going to send you more pictures of my trip. I don't want to share them on here. I'm sorry, guys. I love y'all, but some of the stuff is not for public viewing. Let's just put it that way. But I have so many photos. I can share some of them on here, but it is such a different world out west, guys. Such a different world.
Yes, it is. It's I've ridden on my motorcycle across the entire country, and it's freaking awesome. Just being right there next to the road, and you can smell and see the differences as you go state to state. Some of the states you're like, God dang it, dude, y'all got to get a budget for your roads, you know, because what y'all driving in a car or truck and you can get a pothole, you know, it's like, yeah, whatever. Pothole on a bike is a whole different ball game.
Okay, a pothole with spinal issues is not cool, okay, regardless of what you're riding. But yes, so my daughter actually on the way home from the airport last night said, she goes, "Oh, I'm so happy to be back here. The roads aren't going boom, 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 boom the whole way." Some places are really bad, others not so much. I do have to say, uh, on the very edge of Wyoming, going to the Montana border, there was red road. I mean, it literally, I don't know what they make them out of, but the road was red.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you go to Kauai and there all that red clay, you'll see, and chickens running around. If you ever go to the island of Kauai, you'll be like, how are there so many chickens? And I never knew that. By the way, I threw mics towards y'all, Kristen and Mary Lou. Just haven't heard from y'all in a while. You always come in here, but you never seem to speak. So come on up, say hi while it's still just us.
Yes.
Morning.
Good morning. Oh, sorry, Nika. Still putting the coffee down. The last time I drove through Wyoming, there was an 18-wheeler pulling 3 trailers behind it, and it was windy, and it started to do that serpentine thing, so I backed off. And then I talked to a truck driver about that. He said, you just don't look in the rearview mirror. Just ignore it.
Yeah, they like to pull multiples a lot. It uh, it's kind of crazy because the wind out there is so bad that they literally shut the roads down a lot, and it kills me that they allow them to pull that many trailers all at once with those kind of conditions. The wind is nonstop. It was insane. So I was standing in my mom's driveway. I just got out of the car the one day, and literally the little pebbles and rocks and everything pelt your legs. I mean, it's 85 degrees outside. I'm wearing shorts and flip flops, and I'm getting pelted by like sand and little, stones. The wind is so crazy.
Yeah, it's a trademark for that state. Truth, as to the chickens in Hawaii, I believe you were talking about, there's so many because they can't get off the island.
Take the wrong cross the wrong some road, right? At least
Or
we got,
landlocked. Go ahead.
at least we got rid of that weird profile. I was about to block it, and then it left. So there you go.
The tinfoil wants to live somewhere remotely. Wyoming would fit that.
No, Tin wouldn't do good in Wyoming. He needs to be in the South.
Places like that are so remote, you could literally be an hour and a half, 2 hours from the closest Burger King.
Well, Miss Nika knows where Miss Casey's ranch is, and it's out in the middle of BFE. There ain't nothing around there.
The closest gas station to her is in the next state over. It was insane, guys.
Like I said, Wyoming has the least population of any state. It's like 580,000 people.
And it's a large state. It ain't small. Most of the population is close to Jackson Hole because it's so beautiful over there in the Grand Tetons and the whole nine. Well, we've got our tinfoil. He finally took a mic, and we're waiting to see if he starts with English or if he starts with Klingon today.
Yeah, I wish I was in that kind of a mood today. I'm a little bit shooken up from yesterday. Got done with a space and went to call a friend, and all of a sudden I know my phone gets attacked and then my Twitter account gets attacked. So I don't know who I ticked off, but man, that was freaky.
Well, good thing you're a techie nerd just like me, so you can not get all that stuff taken. At least you blocked it, right?
I couldn't tell how they were doing it. That's what freaked me out so bad. Because when I called my friend, all she could see on her side was me and two others on the call. It just said my name and two others. We tried looking to see who the two others were, but we couldn't figure out who it was. And we didn't have multiple contacts in our list with multiple times, so we didn't show up 2 or 3 times. And then before I know it, we tried to call through X, and all of a sudden I was getting rate exceeded limited. And then and we tried one more time, and the app crashed. I rebooted my phone. They rebooted their phone. I don't know, dude. I mean, stuff don't normally freak me out, but this one, I had to peel myself off the ceiling yesterday.
Sorry, I was away from the mic. Wow. That happened to somebody of mine. They got a text that thought the text was kind of disguised as a friend, clicked on something, and then all of a sudden their phone was taken over from a third party in a different state. And then that person pretended to be them. So maybe, I don't know, did you click on something that wasn't normal?
Not that I know of. Usually, when I get random texts, I don't recognize. I just delete them.
Right, but it's weird. Some of these apps, they get, if they get, you know, how you give permission to apps to access all your contacts, that's kind of how it starts, right? And then if you ever see a duplicate, you should always check your phone often for duplicate contacts, because sometimes they'll do that on purpose. There's a duplicate, and the duplicate is a fake. You're following what I'm saying? And they try to text you from the fake duplicate, not the real. You know what I mean? Am I making sense, Tim?
No, you're making sense. I double checked that because that's one thing I was kind of wondering too. I couldn't find any indication of that, and you know, I know people kind of look at me funny when I say I follow Q and everything. But Q referenced this isn't a game. Careful who you follow. And I kind of got the real life example of that yesterday. Now, there was a space I was in. We talked about some really serious stuff. And I wonder if it came from there because in the space I was in, we were talking about how to protect children, how to fight back. And the trans queer ideology stuff came up. And so we played a video and I had a sit down talk with basically the audience saying this is coming from a gay guy and basically explaining how I was never wanted to what happened with what's been happening with kids and the stuff that I noticed when I started becoming aware of it. And so basically it was a heartfelt talk yesterday in that space. And then I went to another one with a couple of friends of mine. And after that space, that's when the attacks started happening. And it's like I said, many things don't freak me out, but that really scared the living hell out of me yesterday.
Well, it's even though I'm sad there's no coincidence, it still could be just a coincidence, tenfold.
I will say, if that was a coincidence, nature has a hell of a timing. But I don't know. I'm doing better this morning, but I'm still trying to calm down from yesterday, and I'm just think about taking a little mini vacation.
That's why you got to do a Klingon clearing.
There we go. That'll work. But yeah, I'm just kind of chilling over here a little bit just to try to calm myself down.
I got you. Well, I see Julie for Butte, and our normal Julie is in here, and Julie for Butte is out there in California with all the the crookedness going on, and God knows, apparently in 35 days we're supposed to get the finalized election results, which is such a crock. But I threw mics to both of y'all. If you feel like you want to talk, come on up. It's just Friday. Try to keep it fun. I know people got stuff on their minds. I know politics doesn't go away, but try to have fun. There's Miss Butte. Julie, go ahead.
Hey, you guys. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I just hopped up. I'm actually in Sonoma in wine country. So, yeah, I came down last night. My daughter's getting married today, like this afternoon. Well, actually at 5. So I just getting ready. I think my hair and makeup time is, I don't know, 9 o'clock or something. So anyway, but yeah, I just hopped in to hear what's going on and what you guys are. Yeah, you can see my pinned post on kind of a little known part of our election process in California that most people kind of don't pay attention to. But I'm like, this is one of the biggest areas of potential for, nefarious fraud, whatever. It's the remote access vote by mail, RAVBM, remote access vote by mail. It's bad enough as it is having blanketed ballots everywhere in the state. And then, collecting that, the whole thing. And in my ballot packet was this little postcard. And I had asked about it when I did my, I did a deep dive with the county clerk, the recall of Newsom back in September of, 2023, I think? Anyway, whatever. So we were trying to recall Newsom. So that fall, that was one item on a ballot. Do you want to recall Gavin? And if you do, who do you want to pick to replace him? And that was all we were doing. We had collected millions and millions of signatures, right? So we kind of had the guy dead to rights with all his stuff. And but yeah, so obviously, in my opinion, that was stolen. But okay, I had sat down at the election office in Butte County here in Orville and just watched every single part of the process. And I saw this postcard. I go, what is this? So this remote access vote by mail was something that they had used, I don't know, decades ago for people severely disabled to where they could not leave the house. Like they couldn't go to a voting center. So, I think it might have even been in place before this whole blanket everybody with the ballot, but whatever. So that was the original intent. Very few were going to use it. Well, during the the recall and they just slip it into everybody's envelope. Every single ballot that was mailed to the 23 million, however many registered voters we have, has this card. All you need to do is put the name of a registered voter and an email address, and they email you. Okay, think about this: a ballot through email. So you get this ballot on email that you print out of your regular printer at home on regular printer paper. Okay, so, because the ballots we all get here in California at home, they're these hard stock with all these barcodes and, they're pre-printed and you fill in the little bubbles. Yeah, 61 governor candidates I had to go through. Anyway, so fill it. Well, I could eat, and okay, if I was nefarious, which I'm not, if I didn't have integrity, which I do, I know my 4 kids don't vote, but they're registered. I could literally put in their names, all 4 of them, because they're going to show up, and my email address or any email address, and I could print out a ballot, fill it out, and literally you just print out the piece of printer paper and then hand it in or put it in a blank envelope, not even because you just put it in blank. So when the county gets those to count, somebody has to take that piece of blank printer paper that's not going to go through a scanner tabulator, right? Because it's not somebody at the clerk's office has to, and this is happening all over California, has to transfer your votes onto the hard stock. You don't think that person sitting there filling it out could potentially decide not to complete the bubble for, I don't know, Spencer Pratt or who. I mean, even that somebody could at the office, because there's no way to adjudicate because everything's blank and then gets thrown away. It's like, okay, you can, I sat there for like 5 minutes. I go, I can print one at home. It's bad enough that all this hard stock official ballot is floating around all over California with ballot envelopes showing up, whatever. These ones are, you don't even have to leave your house. Print it out. Came to my email. So anyway, I digress. But so, yeah, so it's, I think Butte County is pretty clean in terms of their process. At least they try to be, but I just think there's stuff on the back end. I think there's stuff. So yeah, it's, I haven't even looked to see what the latest is because we were up kind of late last night with oh my gosh, you guys, my daughter, it's like a whole destination wedding, like 4 days, like welcome party, rehearsal. So anyway, but thank you guys for having me up, and thanks. Look at, there's Marlon down there. Haven't seen you guys in a while. Been preparing for this, as well as I just did not want. You guys know who I was rooting for, but anyway, it is what it is. So now we are all hands on deck for Steve Hilton, right? Put all your things behind you, pour everything into Steve Hilton. So that's my job for the next 5 months. Provide all the evidence over and over and over and over that people need to remember. This HHS secretary that's now trying to be our governor, Javier Becerra, he destroyed us for 4 years as HHS. He locked our kids at home on Chromebooks. He forced them, at least in Butte County, to wear masks. We had a mask mandate. Kids were, if they didn't wear a mask, they had to sit outside in the blazing sun or in the cold in the elements. Outside. We did that. I'm like, are you people forgetting what happened? And that was even before we got to vaccines and military vaccines and, pediatric, all this stuff. I mean, our kids lost learning. Businesses never came back in Chico that closed. I'm like, isolation, quarantine cases, outbreaks, do people lose their freaking minds that we're going to have that guy govern our state? When we've got all these viruses floating around the globe, Ebola, hantavirus, diphtheria is loose. I don't know, some screw worm in Mexico's now in Texas. I'm like, excuse me? There's ticks being floated around all over by Bill Gates. What is going on? We're going to have a governor that is okay with locking us in our homes or in a hotel or in isolation or a quarantine camp or kid. Really? We want him to be our governor? What does people lose their ever-loving minds? This isn't just some normal Tom Steyer, Democrat that is just a billionaire. That this guy did damage. What is going on? So anyway, that's my job for the next 5 months. So thanks for letting me ramble. I'm going to be in listen mode because I got to get over to the Airbnb where my daughter is to participate in today's activities. So love you guys. Thank you all. Good to see y'all.
Well, yeah, definitely just focus on your daughter's wedding today.
I'm trying.
Put all this stuff aside, you know what I mean? But it's good to have you in here and hear your voice there, Miss Julie. Marlon, of course, can't host today, but he is lurking there, the big fish. So I think our second Julie after Julie. Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Hi, Nika. Hi, Terry. Hey, Marlon down there. Julie, I'm glad you're still up here. And I really, this is my opinion. I think they're letting this happen in real time. They're letting everybody see what's really going on, and I think that they're collecting all the evidence. Trump already said yesterday that they were already had their investigation going on. So I just think that they're going to allow this to play out, and it's going to be so blatant, and the people don't want to realize it, which I do think so, because I think that people have had it, especially in LA and stuff. Julie, I think that the right people did vote for Spencer Pratt, and so this is going to show. This is just going to blatantly show. It's going to be for them not passing the SAVE Act. It's also going to be for the fact that of the 2020 election that was never finished and proven. I think this is all going to tie in together. This is my opinion, guys. So I always say opinion because I know people are very sure of themselves when they come up here and say that, and then everybody believes it. It's my opinion. That's what I think is happening because it's just so ridiculous. It's so obvious. And I just can't see that this is going to fly. So that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, happy Friday. I'm tired. It was hot last night. We lost power and then it got too hot last night. So I'm just working away, but it's okay. I'm off the rest of the weekend and I hope everyone else is doing great.
You guys are making it difficult on me because I'm going to say, okay, go ahead, Julie. And I'm not talking to you, Julie. I'm talking to the other Julie.
You can call me Julie Butts. So the oh god, the other thing I was just going to mention that Julie was talking about. What was I just thinking of? What did she just say? Oh, so there's one other. Well, there's one county in California, Shasta County. So on their ballot was a measure for election reform in Shasta County. Same day voting, voter ID, hand counting on the paper ballot, and it was winning. So I got to go look with the Secretary of State to see if it passed. So if that's held true, one county in California, they've been fighting for election reform for 2-3 years. I mean, real big dogfight in Shasta County because there's still people who are, don't want reform. Everything's fine, nothing to see here, everything's safe and effective. So, yeah, they had dumped the Dominion system software probably 2 years ago now. So they were, they got rid of that and have had pretty clean elections, but they want the whole thing. And they're not waiting for the Save America Act. They're going to do it themselves locally. Now, they're going to take on the wrath of the Secretary of State, Shirley Weber, and probably Newsom for this next 5 months or whatever, which is why hard push for not only Steve Hilton, but Michael Gates. Michael Gates is running for Attorney General. Amazing man from Huntington Beach, where he fought the governor during the shutdown. He would not shut down the city of Huntington Beach. So Michael Gates, and he's challenging now Rob Bonta, who's criminal, for Attorney General. That's the race in November in the general. Can you imagine the hell we're going to have, or lack of progress or anything, if we have Steve Hilton as our governor? Okay, it all happens, but we have an AG because Rob Bonta destroyed the rest of the Rob Bonta's name is at the top of the list. So really how hamstrung is this governor going to be if his attorney general is the man that's sued Trump 125 times? I mean, what's Bonta do? Going to spend his whole day suing Hilton and our own state? It's going to be weird. So we really need to push. Stephen Bader asked me this question yesterday. Who is the one person, if you could wave a magic wand and anybody anywhere could automatically, you got one person that you could, it'd be Michael Gates. I want an attorney general in California that's going to take apart all the crimes. And that's Michael Gates. So I'm like, Hilton, I mean, that's going to go. But yeah, Michael Gates is the other one because it's, and then we'll see how Shasta County shakes out. If Shasta County can prove, if it goes through and their general election is held on same day with voter ID and hand counted, yeah, let's see what those results look like in November. And then you've got a case study. So there's one county in California that's fighting is my point. So anyway, back to you guys. Thank you. Oh, look, I see Jeannie too. Look at all the J's on stage. And there's Tin and all y'all. So Terry. Anyway, good morning.
Oh, well, I know Jeannie's been patient. Go ahead there, Jeannie.
No, I just understand you, Julie, and I just wanted to say that most days I feel like crying and then I get pissed. So I completely understand what you're saying. We all have this mission, and what I love so much about this group is that regardless of whatever personal mission you are on, we can support each other. I wrote an article yesterday. I'm starting to get the heat purge through my body. In order to fix this and to win, there can't be any stars. We're all the soldiers, and the infighting and the this is my idea kind of stuff. We just got to stuff our egos in our back pocket and then support the hell out of each other, because that's the only way we're going to be able to disseminate the truth. I saw a poll that said 56% of Americans now believe that the COVID vaccine caused deaths. And I thought, hallelujah. Do you know what a win that is? And it's it's because of us. It's because I know we sit in our I'm sorry. I know that we sit in our private little area and we don't think we're making a difference, but we are. And we need to keep encouraging each other to keep the fight. Just keep fighting. Keep doing what you're doing and keep fighting. And so I wrote an article for my, I've started over 5 different times. I can't remember the name of it.
Deanie, you're kind of breaking up here at the end.
Oh, common sense. Oh, okay, this is better.
A little bit. It just we lost it for a second.
Okay, yeah, our technology is fuzzy at best. So anyway, I'll shut up. But I just really care about you guys, and I care about the missions that you're on, and I want to support you in any way that I can. And so I keep trying to.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on to the next person.
Hey, okay, and that's a quick way to get taken off of the speakers. So see you, Diddy. Yeah, you come up here and start having some attitude like that, you ain't gonna come up. You can just move on, buddy. I just removed that idiot from the space. So, moving on, Miss Nika, would you mind guilt tripping people?
Of course. Guys, if you haven't already, please go down to the Purple Pill and like and share the space. We would appreciate it. Get more people in here. Thank you.
Yeah, little jerk offs like that come into spaces to try to, disrupt or whatever. Sorry, just no, don't have time for it. It's supposed to be a fun Friday, so let's change the mood, turn that frown upside down. What's up, Tinfoil?
I just want to ask Jeannie there. I saw your message about Substack, and I was wondering if you still need help with that.
Well, you guys can go back and forth with Miss Jeannie and DM each other. I'm sure she could use some help because I encouraged her to use Substack, and her mic is not working now. It shows as a listener. Miss Julie Butts, you said to call you Butts.
Yep, Julie Butts. There's always so many Julies, but anyway, yeah. So another maybe topic, but just because you guys, I don't know, when is you guys' primary? Have you had it already?
Who's primary?
So here's my in fact, let me look up the Secretary of State's office real quick. So voter turnout. Our voter turnout on Tuesday was dismal. I'm talking like last I checked, it was 22% of registered eligible voters voted in our June 2nd primary. 20%. It was 25 in Butte County. So, not only do we have, I'm going to throw out probably 5 million, which don't quote me on the exact number, unregistered but eligible voters. So people that aren't even registered, right? That whole push from Scott Pressler to get people registered. Okay, we need that in California for sure. If we want to pick up, it's millions and millions of people. So not only are those people hanging out that hate Newsom, hate this, whatever, but they're not even registered to vote. Okay, well, that's one big chunk of people. Then the people that are registered aren't voting. So 75, 80% of California residents didn't vote. Like that registered, like just didn't even turn in a ballot at all. So I'm like, so of all of the people that voted, you're down to kind of a small sliver trying to represent the whole state, which is fine. But so again, another push that, hopefully our GOP, and we've got 2 of them in California because they can't get along. So we have to have 2 groups. It's weird. Yeah. Why don't you guys get your act together? Everybody's screaming unity. Bianco group, get on board with Hilton. Fine, we are. But GOP, you guys get your behind together, whether the national level or here at the California, you got to get people to the polls on November, whatever it is, 6th, 4th, or whatever it is, in November. I mean, we can't just, this is where we suck, in terms of a party, we don't knock on enough doors and we don't, but anyway, we've got our integrity and we've got our morals and our, this and that. But voter turnout. So I don't know what you guys all had your primaries in your states? What's your turnout looking like? What do you guys do to get the vote out? I don't know, but that's just something else that we noticed on Tuesday. It was really pretty dismal in California.
Well, it's funny that you would say it's dismal in California because apparently there's more votes than there are registered voters. So
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Anyway, second Julie, first Julie.
Yeah. Julie, we had our primaries too. And of course, our GOP, it's always dismal. It's always dismal for the registered Republicans to come out and vote. In our state, actually, we have the most independents of anybody, but it's a closed primary. So unless they change their status, they can't vote anyway. In the primary elections, it's just, not a good thing. So it's always looks low, but it's the same thing what you were saying. Like, we have no representation. We have no, our GOP, I went back on their pages and there was a debate the weekend before the election of the 4 candidates that were running on the GOP side. No advertisement, I found out about it when it was already over, and it was like, what's the point? But that's how it is. There, every time that there is any kind of debates going on, there was like when there was the governor race for November, we went to one during the summer at the county college, and nobody was there. And then people were like, oh, really? If I would have known about it, I would have went. And I'm like, I'm sure you would have. But they don't advertise nothing. They don't talk about it. Like, they didn't highlight all the candidates on their website to say, hey, this is what this person is. This is what this person is. It was like, if you didn't know about them, or even if they were running, you didn't know anything. So some people just, probably voted for the first Republican that was on the ticket, not knowing if they were the best candidate or not, which is typical because nobody looks like, look what's going on in Maine with this Nazi character. They're going to vote for him no matter what. Then they're not going to take the time to look into him, or they're not going to believe anything that's going on because they've got, anybody that watches the mainstream media that's, Democrat is just totally against anything that comes out that the GOP is trying to warn you on. It's sad. So yeah, same thing here, Julie. We've got representation, but I always say that New Jersey is the bookend to California. We're the bookends. The same thing goes on. Our taxes are ridiculous. The only thing I think yours is a little bit more expensive is the gasoline, but we'll be close. I'm sure that's going to happen.
Julie, you mentioned something regarding people not believing whatever the conservatives are saying about the Democrats and vice versa. Remember that speech from Obama, him talking about, just throwing out so many lies that people won't know what to believe. And that's exactly what he had a mission to do. He did it. He accomplished it. The media, the mainstream media, I should say, that it's just nothing but lies. You have to sift through it. And if you don't realize that, then you're just blindly believing whatever you hear or see. You can see how easily manipulated people are, right? So it's really scary. And if you think about it, how if somebody's just not paying attention, or they're just kind of starting to pay attention and want to vote or whatnot, how influenced they are from all the lies, right?
100% truth. And who got rid of the Smith-Mundt Act? Oh, that would be Obama. Something we need back desperately. That should have been something that the administration that's there now, that should have been their first priority, was getting rid of that. He talks about the fake news all the time. You know what? That should have been brought right back up. That should have been voted on and brought back into the to the for them to vote on. So the congressmen and stuff. So I just, it's sad. It's sad. I mean, and and then you got all these TV pundits, on the View. Ugh, they're so disgusting, those cows. Sunny Hostin, whatever her name is, she's like, I'll just hold my nose, and I would just hold my nose and vote for this guy up in Maine because we need the Senate back. So that they're not even caring. They're not even caring. Look at Chuck Schumer. I brought it up in the space the other day. Chuck Schumer, he is endorsing this guy. He's doubling down endorsing him. And the guy has a Nazi tattoo on his chest, but yet Chuck Schumer is Jewish. So, yeah. And it's because they want the Senate seat. They want the Senate back. They're that desperate. It's just sad. It's really sick.
You called the ladies on the View cows. Don't disrespect cows like that. Cows are lovely.
Come on, it's Friday.
You just insulted some cows across America. No, just kidding. Is the person you're talking about named Plattner? I just was catching as I was getting ready yesterday. Some guy named Plattner.
Yeah, Graham Plattner.
What's his story? I didn't even hear nothing about it. What's going on with this guy?
Oh God, where do I start? Okay, well, so he before, when he was first, coming in onto the scene, he's like a little mama's boy. He owns an oyster farm up in Maine, which his mother bought for him, and she's one of his only customers, from what I hear. Okay, so that's just, it seems like it was a front. This guy was in the I don't know if he was a Marine truth or in the Navy. But apparently when he was enlisted, he got a Nazi tattoo on his chest, which he claims he didn't know that that's what it was. Now it's been covered up, but he absolutely knew what it was. And then, so that scandal came out and they brushed that away, he had PTSD and he didn't really know what he was doing when he was in the Navy, and he was just getting a tattoo for a tattoo. So they tried to whitewash that one. Then it came out that his wife put out texts that he was on some site stating, sexting with other women, and then he made her come out and she was like, well, we have a tough marriage. And she tried to also claim that she put it out there, but then she doubled back and she said that, it really wasn't his fault. Apparently he got caught saying something about being in porta potties and doing something explicitly. Something came out yesterday about ex-girlfriends that were all went to the New York Times and were saying this is, this guy is trouble. He's deranged, blah, blah, this and that. But yet they're still endorsing him. They're still want him to be their runner. And I don't know. I don't know. That's really in a nutshell what's going on with him.
Oh, Julie, I'm sorry. Were you wanting to say something?
No, go ahead.
Oh, Julie, I got a kick out of Christopher Hayes interviewing him yesterday after the New York Times article dropped, which, by the way, the Times pursued him for that story so they could massage the story in a way that kind of revealed his flaws, his bad judgment, so they could control the narrative because they can't take back the Senate without winning Maine. So Christopher Hayes is interviewing yesterday, and he says, and he's a far lefty, he says, so with this sexting that was going on between you and these women after you were married in 23, when did it stop? And he said, I'm paraphrasing, it stopped as it was happening. Now, I'm going to translate that. It's probably still ongoing. This guy, he can't tell the truth to save his life. He's a flawed candidate. Whoever vetted this guy should be fired. I believe Janet Mills, the governor of Maine, was originally going to run for that seat, but she alleges that she didn't have the money for the campaign. Well, I bet they would have raised the money now because this guy is a total train wreck. He even went on, they found where he had, his campaign confirmed that he said, and I quote, that if someone broke in his house, he would rape them, but in a non-gay way. I mean, this guy is seriously mentally flawed. I mean, he's got some major issues. Now, Julie had taken the mic, and this is California Julie, and she talked about the voting, and she had mentioned like her kids are registered to vote, and she could send in a mail-in ballot, and that's a huge problem with California. For example, in law enforcement, if you make an arrest for drugs, you've got to initial on the evidence that you made that arrest, and the lab tech's got to initial. And if you go to court and your initials aren't on the evidence, you can't really testify, in theory, that those drugs came from the defendant, which means the judge could throw the case out. It doesn't have standing, right? It raised a reasonable doubt. Well, in California has such a mechanism like they do where anybody can just mail in a ballot. That's where fraud runs rampant. The thing about California, I really wish it was more like Virginia in the sense that Virginia's a little purplish. Like we saw they had a Democrat governor for 2 terms, 2 different governors, McAleese, the other one, Dr. Death. And then Youngkin became the governor because families were mad about what they were putting in the school system. So we've got to get California back. I know Julie's really working hard to get it back, and we can get it back. But there's so many things happening right now. It's definitely an election year, and also, boy, that was a lot to say there.
Well, Terry, just FYI, your comms can hear you, but it was kind of a little bit going in and out. Just an FYI. I know you're using that new thing. Sorry. Goats came up.
Good morning, everybody, friends, everybody out there. How are we doing this morning? Hope everybody's well.
Blah.
Hey, Goats.
Hello. So I just had one question. You know, there's this crazy phenomenon going on the last 3 days on this app. And what do you guys make of the new Hunter Biden career arc? I don't think we've seen anything yet.
The new what, Goat?
The one where he was painting Trump saying the best president.
No, I mean, just his activity on Twitter. He's all over the podcast circuit. I mean, he is out there.
Well, isn't there a rumor that he's going to run in 2028?
Well, I mean, that's what people have been posting on his posts. Yeah, I mean, a couple posters have been made. But I mean, it's wild. I started following him the other day, and he is posting all kinds of shit posting. He's posting all kinds of shit. And people are fawning over him. I mean, chicks, oh my God, he's so cute. And all that. I mean, they don't remember when he was, got pictures sitting next to his 12-year-old niece with a crack pipe hanging out of his mouth.
Boy, oh boy. Wow. Okay.
He's going to be the celebrity of the year, Truth. You watch.
Oh, please.
So stupid.
Did they ever find the cocaine, by the way?
No, but he said it wasn't his because he would have never left his cocaine.
There, you got a point. Julie.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Goats, good to see you. And yeah, I happened to catch him, and I watch the Candace Owens show. I watch all the shows, right? All of what's going. And I happened to catch him. I'm like, first of all, you get this immediate I don't want to watch this guy. I don't want to see him. He's nasty. I've seen enough of him. I don't want to see him anymore. But he is what Goat said. He's going on this for me tour. Was it my fault? I didn't know. I wasn't involved. I didn't. And he does it. He's totally out there selling it like he's the wounded victim. And I don't know. I was like, is he? Were we told a bunch of lies about him? Now, of course, I saw pictures. So I'm like, dude, you're disturbing. You're disgusting. But I did Goats. I had, as an empathetic person, this twinge of, I feel sorry for the guy. Oh my God, do I? And I'm like, no, let's not go there. I mean, so yeah, what Goats said, I happened to catch this Hunter Biden. I'm like, but I was feeling bad for him at the end of the interview. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Goats. I'm gonna have to go follow. Is he really posting on Twitter X? I'm gonna have to go follow this for entertainment purposes.
10, 15 times a day. Yeah. Yeah, follow him. And then the other thing, you said that, and me as a recovering addict, he is supposedly 7 years sober now. So he's talking about sobriety and stuff. And so that was like, I did the same thing. I was like, oh man, I kind of, good job on that, but I'm still not sure about you, buddy.
Yeah, wasn't he start talking about salvation and finding Christ and all that kind of stuff? Did I see something like that, Goats?
I don't know that I remember any Christ talk literally, but he does talk about sobriety, and I don't know if he talks about God within his sobriety context or not. I can't really. No, it doesn't pop out in my head specifically.
Yeah.
He's not 7 years clean, bull dinky doo dog. But I did put down in the bubble the picture of him drawing Trump and saying the best president. I know it's a meme, but it's pretty funny.
If he was 7 minutes clean, I'd be surprised. But
How's the microphone sound now, Truth? Any better?
that's a lot better. Yeah. Crystal clear. Good to go.
Well, I sure apologize for that. I tried to do a mic check at the beginning because there's nothing worse than taking a mic and then you come across like you're in a cave, you know.
Well, I know you're not in a cave, which is good. And you know, being this talk about ex presidents and their crazy sons, I wonder if ex President Clinton is going to show up in our space today.
So it's possible. You know, I'm thinking about Graham Plattner right now. They didn't vet him very well. You know, thank God we didn't have that kind of technology back then. The cell phones with the cameras, I probably would have went to prison. But you know, the Democrat Party's not like what it used to be. But on a personal note, Truth, my wife and I, we had one of the worst fights of our marriage last night.
Oh,
I've never revealed things about our personal relationship, but last night I got up to pee because I have an enlarged prostate. And apparently she put her contact lenses in that little Dixie cup instead of putting them in the right plastic container. And I guess I drank her contacts because this morning she was looking for them and she couldn't find them and the Dixie cup had been thrown away. And of course she blamed me for it. And then she blamed me for not being able to beat Donald Trump. Imagine having to wake up to that every single day. It was so bad. She said words to me that hurt. They really cut me bad. You know, they say behind every good man's a good woman. I guess I'm a bad man because I have a bad woman. God bless you, Truth, and Nika and Julie and the other Julie and my brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl. God bless America.
Always a pleasure to have our ex-Clinton in here. Go ahead, go.
That's funny. You talk about drinking a contact. You know, my dad used to have a glass eye, and I've seen him take it out at like a restaurant and put it in somebody's drink beside him, and they'd watch him freak out when they go take a drink. That's funny shit.
Here we go. It's Fun Friday. Go ahead, Dan.
I was gonna say that he had me laughing when I heard the part where if cell phones back then had a camera, he was gonna go to prison. I was like, wow, ain't that the truth? And what's even funnier, so everyone knows how Hillary supposedly used BeachBlit to clear her emails, right? Well, used to, if you went to Bleach Bitch's website, they actually had her as a testimonial on their software. And I was like, I don't know whether to laugh or cry or just be like, wow. It's like someone who committed like the highest crime and you got them as a testimonial for your software. It's like, I don't know what that says. Like, that was confusing messaging, but yeah. I don't think they have her on there anymore, but when I saw it, I just couldn't stop shaking my head. But I just want to point that out there too.
Boy, oh boy. What a day, my friends. It's going to be a interesting weekend coming up for some reason, I have a feeling. Maybe some good news will happen. Who knows?
Someone taking a mic. I had a phone call there, Truth.
Well, the reflecting pool is all working. It looks beautiful. You know, he's beautifying things, although, you know, the comments are just like outrageous. But yeah, he looks really good. I put that picture down in the bubble as well. All the statues he's refurbishing and the waters that's finally running and all these fountains and stuff that haven't been for years in Washington. And it's stark difference. But I put the picture of the reflecting pool there. It looks really nice.
Didn't they originally have some crazy budget for that, saying it was going to cost like $300 million or something like that, and he did it for under $2 million? Is that right?
Oh yeah. He like used his own pool guys things, whatever, and he did it. Had it taken care of, and yeah, he drastically cut the cost of it, and you know, I don't know. It's just amazing when you have somebody that's got that kind of background, because he obviously is a builder and he knows, and he knows how to do these things. That's why, when 9/11 happened, he was the first one there, and he was saying that it was just very hard to believe that a plane could do this. And he's very outspoken then. People don't want to remember that, but he was very outspoken.
All right, my dog is crying. Go ahead, Terry. Help me out. My dog is being loud in the background.
Barack Obama spent millions of dollars to renovate the reflecting pool. So I didn't remember hearing a lot of people complaining about that on the left.
Well, and then it was leaking 45,000 gallons of water a day since he did that, by the way.
Right. Well, I don't know if you remember, but that ice rink in New York City, they had so many problems with that for decades. And Donald Trump fixed it because it was flawed when it was built. It wasn't even built properly. You didn't even have the right refrigeration system. And he was able to fix it, restore it, and get it done right for a lot less than what New York City was able to do.
It's because they tried to bury Jimmy Hoffa under there, and it messed up the freezing system.
Come on now, Jimmy Hoffa's buried at Giants Stadium.
Oh, right.
I'm only kidding.
That's right.
The mysteries that we'll never know about. What was the one that disappeared out of a plane? What was they've made so many movies about it. It's like
Amelia Earhart?
No.
Oh,
DB.
no, the DJ, what was it? Something DB something.
Cooper. That's it. There you go. Yep. Right? Didn't he have he robbed a bank and had a whole bunch of money with him, and they never found the money and blah blah blah? Isn't that the story?
No, I took the flight hostage. They landed and gave him, I think, $200-something thousand, and it took back off again. And then he jumped out of the rear sky bridge or the rear ramp up the tail, the steps at so many thousands of feet. They never found his body, but they did recover some of the money. They found it in the woods, but they never found him. It's been a mystery ever since.
I guess he's hanging out with Jimmy Hoffa
and Amelia Earhart,
Jim Morrison, and Michael Jackson, and Elvis, right?
Right. You imagine jumping out of a jet, traveling 400 or 500 miles an hour like that. My God.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, I see Miles came up. What's going on, Miles?
Yeah, that was DB Cooper. So it was the same plane that Epstein had. And what they did after that hijacking was they made sure that you couldn't open that stairwell because you could exit that plane once it landed from the stairwell. So what they did is they made sure that you couldn't do that in flight. And but when Epstein bought his plane, which is a very difficult plane to work on, it had a center engine. So you had to service that engine, you had to take it out to work on it. So everybody was saying, well, why would you want that type of plane? Well, if you had that type of plane, you could throw stuff out the back. But all the ones that were in service, they changed that so you couldn't lower the stairs while it was in flight. Just wanted to point that out. But yeah, that DB Cooper was supposed to be from Minnesota.
Well, I was hoping to survive a day without bringing up Epstein, but you seem to slide it right in there. So thanks. Go ahead, Coach.
That just reminded me of something. I want to see what you guys thought. What do you guys think of this Ivanka and Jared buying this old Cold War military island out in the middle or out off of Albania or some shit? Got a bunch of bunkers, got a bunch of munitions, all kinds of stuff. What do you guys think about it?
Never heard that one. Sprinkle it on us, goats.
Well, as far as I know, I guess they found it or heard of it. Jared was on a boat with Nat Rothschild, and he told him about it, and now they're going to buy it. And I think it's Albania, somewhere near there. Anyway, the locals are putting up a fit because it's like protected land, and it's got like a bunch of underground bunkers, a bunch of like, I don't know, shooting towers or shit. It was like a Cold War, I don't know, exercise base or some shit. I'm not. But yeah, supposedly they bought it, Jared and Ivanka.
I'd like that kind of island. That'd be badass. Go ahead, Moss.
Yeah, I just think it's another lefty hit piece against us that we can't go out and buy whatever we want. I don't think it's anything special. Have you guys noticed all the weird accounts popping up here lately? I had one and I did a screen capture. I'm not going to say where it was, what space, because I really don't know that person that well, and he seems to be a good guy. But he had 33 followers, and then it was some kind of, they all come in with protected accounts. You can't open them up, they're locked. But then when I clicked on it, it was a website, and I clicked on that website, and X popped up a warning that website is trying to take your information and not to click on it, your URL. And then this morning I opened my phone and I got another warning from Apple that someone was trying to take my information from my phone. So guys, be careful. There's a lot of people, and of course they hate Trump, and they just talk in circles. These are what I would call social engineers, where they seem like they're on our side, but they're not. So just be careful out there, guys. They have very few accounts. All their accounts are locked down, so you can't see anything about them.
Yeah, I've noticed that. There's a lot of them, and there's a lot of accounts that you have been following and whatnot that turn out to be shills anyway. Just gotta use good discernment. It's a shame, but also the internet. There's a lot of hacking going on that people are kind of unaware of. One of the big things, cPanel, which is WHM, all that kind of stuff. They're under heavy, brutal attack. I've literally had to update it almost every single day for the past 3 weeks. They keep coming up with updates because of the security stuff going on. So there's an attack going on the internet in general. Globally, because cPanel is what most people use to run their websites. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm sure Tin will want to add.
I would say it kind of makes sense then, because Miles, I don't know if you were in here, but my phone got attacked yesterday after I was in a couple of spaces, and then when I tried to call a friend, they saw on their phone it was me and 2 others. We couldn't figure out who these 2 others were. I had no duplicate contacts. They had no duplicate contacts, so we hung up. And then I tried to go on X and try to call them through X. I got rate limit exceeded warning. So we hung up again. I tried rebooting my phone, and we just kept noticing weird patterns with my phone and their phone for about an hour, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. And I'll be honest, like I was telling the truth, and then nothing really bothers me much, but this one had me pretty spooked, and I'm still trying to calm down today a little bit over it. But no, if you guys got like firewalls and stuff that has an update, go ahead and run your updates. Make sure you keep them updated. turn off any services that you don't need. If you have your like what we call a ping, if you have that turned on, where your stuff can be pinged from the outside, go ahead and turn that off, and just try to close up what you can, because apparently there is some cyber stuff going on right now, and the more you keep a low profile and stuff, the better. And a lot of the attackers won't notice you, but
Hey, Tim, that reminds me, you and I got to get together. We got to do stuff on our project, by the way, to cover it up.
Yeah, I got to get a hold of you on that too.
Yep. Before we get to you, Miles, Shakes put something down in the bubble. Shakes, you want to comment on what you put there so I can understand? I'm trying to figure it out.
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Just like Tim was saying, truth, some very unique things that go around. If you don't like people looking up your colon, then you might want to cover it. If you don't know how to cover your colon, you might just enjoy the ride, because there's a bunch of people that are on the hunt right now, and I don't like them messing with our countrymen and women and children. So we're fixing some code, and make sure your firmwares are up to speed, and make sure your CTOs know what the hell they're doing, and we'll go from there. God bless you all.
Well, Shakes, yeah, for non-techie people, they're definitely vulnerable, and even for techie people, we're still vulnerable. And yeah, there's so much going on behind the scenes, especially with all this frameworks. I've never trusted the frameworks that are used. You know what I mean? You got so many people from all over the world knowing all that code, easily hackable, backdoors, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that gets too techy for a lot of people. Shakes, I know you understand. Tim understands, but for the general public, unfortunately, they don't. Go ahead, Miles.
Yeah, the global demons are getting backed into a corner right now. A lot of stuff is going to come out pretty soon. It already has on a lower level, but the higher level stuff like Bolton taking a plea deal. And don't get too upset on some of these top, well, they're not the top people, they're kind of middle management people that when they turn, they're going to get like some sweetheart deals, because the other people aren't going to turn if they know that, well, I can't talk, they're going to kill me, or, or the sentence is going to be really, really stiff. So they're turning other people. These demons are definitely freaking out, but that's a good sign for us. But it's going to get spicy, and we got to be careful right now. Just take care.
Man, to that, hopefully people will start waking up. But it's become so complex. Again, if you really don't have a techie background, it's really challenging to stay on top of it, even when you do have a techie background. Believe me.
Truth, that's one of the main points that you've made that's most perfectly beautiful and genius. And that is, we have a bunch of boomers that have no idea what kind of pie they're sitting in. And they don't know who's eating it. They don't know why. And it's our job as children to protect our elders.
It is. We all got duties, don't we? Oh, Nika, I haven't heard much from you. I know that you're still kind of waking up from your long travels, and you're probably in the background working. Everything all right? Just checking in.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm recovering. I'm recovering from yesterday's. I literally, guys, I got up at 5 yesterday in Wyoming. I left Wyoming at 7, and I got home last night around 11:15, and it was a full day of traveling just to get home. So it definitely did a number on me. I apologize. I am quiet today. What I will say is, recently I have had hundreds, and I'm talking just in the past probably 2 weeks, of followers out of Turkey. And that has struck me as very odd. For those that don't know, when you go on to anybody's profile, you can click the little link at the top to show exactly where the account is based. I do this with everybody that follows me. I'm not on here to collect followers. I don't want you if you are not being honest about who you are and where you're from. I do not want you if you have all kinds of nasty stuff on your profile, whether it be porn or just racist or any of that crap. I don't want it. So I will block them and get rid of them. And I've recently noticed, and they look like normal accounts. So don't just follow everybody back, guys. You have to be very careful about who you allow onto your profile and who you allow to look at your stuff, because you're giving them access that they shouldn't have. So I don't know. I blocked a lot of freaking accounts out of Turkey in the past 2 weeks, and I don't know why they're all from Turkey. But the large majority of them are from Turkey. For a while, it was all like Nigeria and, Gambia and stuff like that. But recently, it's all been Turkey. For some reason, it's all out of Turkey. I don't know what's going on. Just be diligent about watching who you allow access to your account.
Is everybody here familiar with the logistics wars between the Greeks and the Turks? It's a high level discussion. Is anybody familiar with this?
Well, without getting everybody too down deep in it, go ahead, Shakes, with a little overview so those that don't know can understand or at least scratch the surface to get deeper.
Well, just to keep it on surface level, everybody remembers that movie 300. There was a discussion not over who was going to be king, but was who's going to move what and why and how. And who was going to sit at the top. That's what that movie was about.
It's a great movie, great film, shot well, unique, right? Go ahead, Miles.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it too much if you have, because it's pretty complicated, like you said, Truth. But if you've been following Colonel Towner with Operation Gladio, these are technical stay-behind units, Intel class, and there are the demons that I was just talking about. So most of them were in Turkey a long time ago, and they're popping their heads up again. So this is probably what's going to happen for a little while until we get these certain things sorted out. That these global assets from the global criminal syndicate, that's what Trump's taken down. And I mean, I think it's going to end pretty soon, but that's why we're being attacked, these cyber attacks. But I mean, we have a lot of assets on our side that are kind of mediating a lot of the stuff that's happening. But it's just like, it's a game. We're playing a game board. And so they're going to still have some moves left before we take them down. So it's Operation Gladio. These are people that they're embedded all across the world, and they're being activated because they know they're going down.
Yeah, I know that, and I'm so bummed I wasn't able to make it. I know our good buddy from across the pond, Darren or Daz, had a space last night or yesterday afternoon regarding the UFO / alien, all that stuff kind of associated with things. But you brought up the word demons. Obviously this can definitely be a heavy conversation, and is going to challenge your own personal beliefs and all that kind of stuff. But if you do try to get biblically about it, whatever these quote unquote aliens are, I mean, essentially, how I see it is it's definitely demons. There's demon possession is a real thing, and I've witnessed it firsthand, and it's it's crazy. It really is crazy, but I don't fear it because I know that we are protected by our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But again, that's just my own personal thing. I don't care what y'all believe. You can believe whichever you want. You know, this is just a lifetime of reading through every dang book I could get my hands on, and you know, to come to the only truth that there is. That at least I see it that way. But you know, this battle, it's a spiritual battle. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It always has been and always will be. It's between good versus evil, and however you want to sum that up and call it, it is what it is. And if you're not aware of this spiritual battle, you got to get with the times, because it's been happening, and people seem to be oblivious, or maybe it's too scary for them. And I can see how it can scare people, especially with all the damn movies and TV shows and showing all that kind of crap. But you know, you got to get a hold of it. You got to have these conversations. You got to talk about it. You got to be prepared. You know, you have to armor up. The Bible tells us how to armor up. You know, put on the full armor of God. But you know, again, I don't want to go down that, because I know people get all pissy and want to argue, and I'm not here to argue about any of that stuff. But go ahead, Miles.
Yeah, does God have an army in the flesh? And I believe that he does, that are with us right now. There's a couple people that have been doing a series called the Knights Templar. And if you go back and you study the Templar and what their mission was, and then also the Cathars and what they were all about, it's in prophecy. It was a 700-year prophecy, and we are in those times right now. So just look at the people around you. Look at Pete Hegseth. You know, you had some guy doing the weekend morning show, and now he's the Secretary of War, and he's got a Knights Templar cross on his chest. So he's a Knights Templar. I don't know if Trump is. I think he's more of a Cathar. If you you might have to do some research on that. I don't want to go into it right now, but yeah, it is biblical, and it was in prophecy, and we're in that time, 700 years. If we go back, they said we'll be back. Give us some time. We're coming back. So,
You know, Truth, there's some incredible genius movements taking possession of certain things at very specific times in order to play the game, so to speak.
Yeah, you know, I'm more focused and fascinated and in awe of God. And we look at our world, and we look at, just walk out in nature and just be in awe. You know, look at our own body, for crying out loud. Our bodies are so amazing. People have no idea, unfortunately, how it actually works.
Amen.
The things that people focus on are just nonsense for the most part. Think about it. How many people know like a whole bunch of damn sports statistics or car makes or whatever? It's like, all right, sure, that might be useful in your line of work or whatever it is, but my God, why don't you fill your minds with things that are real, right?
Amen.
And it's a shame. It's a shame, but you know, we're called to at least spread the good news. We're not called to force anybody to believe anything. That's the beauty and kind of the catch-22 of our God, as well as our country, which is based on those principles that we all have free will.
Amen.
And our God gives us the free will to choose them or not, and that's truly loving somebody. Say, hey, you don't have to love me back. I'm here, but you have to come to that conclusion on your own. And you know, a lot of people don't spend enough time really thinking of those things. I mean, remember those days that none of us lived in, but you had a whole bunch of philosophers and people who were trying to find out, you know, the secrets of the universe, so to speak. You know, I love having philosophical conversations. I think it's awesome. I think we need more of it, so people are focused on the things that are spiritual, that matter, versus the things that are not, the worldly things. So unfortunately, we're all wrapped up in, and it's hard not to be. We all have an ego, whether we want to admit it or not. That's kind of how we function. But the sickness of the world to me is the narcissism that we're seeing so blatantly, to where it's just me, I, and that's got to stop, Put all that stuff aside, try to figure it all out. If you got an answer, share it. But, I'm always going to go to the truth, the only truth that we have here, which has been proven nothing but the truth, right? In fact, when you swear in, if you're in court, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, right?
Amen. Amen. Truth, the ego can be redirected, like a father trying to portray a tree to a daughter. And who can do that the best?
I know, man.
Or the flow
These
of
are
a
the
river, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
who can describe that the best, right?
exactly. That's why I love reading Proverbs, man. No matter how many times I read through, there's only 31 chapters in Proverbs, but one for each day of the month, which is great. But go ahead, Rusty.
Yeah, I think the sickness is, in my opinion, our apathy that we have. We tend to make excuses for things, for people, for sins and stuff that have become all too common in our society. And I think that's ultimately what's going to get a lot of us is our apathy, our trying to understand and make sense when it goes against the word. Sounds like I'm getting sick, don't it? But that's just my 2 cents. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, that's the human condition. It's a tough condition. I think probably one of the most used biblical scriptures, especially, I guess, against believers, would be in Matthew 7, the first 6 verses of that, where it says, "Do not judge, so that you will not be judged. For in the way that you judge, you will be judged, and by your standard of measure, it will be measured to you."
Amen.
That's just the first 2 verses, right? But for some reason, people just use that against us, going, "Well, I thought you were a Christian. You're not supposed to judge me." But I say, well, you might want to read a little further down the line, because it says, "Why do you look at the speck that's in your brother's eye, but you don't notice the log that's in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' and behold, the log is in your own eye? You hypocrite." But this is the part that they don't read. First, take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. So it's interesting where people say, "Oh, I thought you're not to judge." Well, no. You judge yourself first. Get your stuff right on your righteous path. And then lovingly, you'll be able to take it and help your brother, so to speak, right? Saying, "Wow, hey, this is what I see," based on righteous judgment, not self-righteous judgment, right? And then it ends it up in that last verse 6. "Do not give what is holy to dogs. Do not throw your pearls before swine, or they will trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces." Just, man, when you read the Bible, it's just, you can't help the wisdom behind it. None of us can really grasp it. Go ahead, Miles.
Truth, as if I may
Yeah.
just interject for a second, if anybody could take a moment and picture a tear running down Jesus' face from all of the things that he had to view through his journey. In one tear.
Right? Go ahead, Miles.
Yeah, this criminal class, this evil force that we're working against, they can't help themselves. I mean, it's so blatant in California right now that they're going to steal that primary. And all eyes are on California watching them. We're watching them steal it from Spencer Pratt, but they can't help themselves because they are so twisted and demented and think that we know better, that they're actually going to commit suicide right in front of us. And that's what we're watching. It's amazing right now. This is amazing time to live right now, to see all this stuff.
Miles, we're witnessing, right? Each other, each
Well,
other's
let me just say,
data, Terry, each other's data, Nikki, truth, tinfoil. Tell me we're not. Tell me we're witnessing something else.
I just wanted to say that from my perspective, and when we take a mic, we just bring our opinions, right? So what I'm seeing here is our framers built our country from the ground up, brick by brick, that our rights were endowed by our creator. The left, it seems, believes that all of our rights should come from government. From top to bottom, the government should be in control of every component of our life. So the sooner they can remove God from our country, the sooner they can get to their end game of what they're trying to achieve. So when you look at what Donald Trump went through to become our president, and the Bible is full of stories of imperfect men who were willing to be used by God, we are seeing good versus evil play out right now. And we're seeing these these big plates rubbing against each other. And I tell you what, I sure sleep a lot better knowing that Trump is my president versus Kamala. I got to tell you. So his worst day is 1,000 times better than Kamala's best day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I always refer to her as Kamalama Ding Dong. That's the only way I'm going to refer to that idiot.
Like proven over and over, proven. If not, where's she sitting? No offense.
Yeah, right. Hey, this reminds me too. So if we start filling our minds and our spirit, so to speak, if we start feeding it consciously instead of unconsciously, which unfortunately most of us are guilty of, whether by default or just the way the system is set up. But I mean, this app in particular, and then all the other social media crap and television and everything like that. First off, television, they tell you the truth right in front of you. It's television programming. It's always been that. And they're just blatantly telling you the truth and you don't even notice. So we've been programmed for so many years, but our spirits are an interesting phenomenon that, of course, science still tries to deny or whatnot. But the spirit is constantly starving, like, feed me, I want to know, it wants to know stuff, right? But so we feed it, whether consciously or unconsciously. It's constantly going to eat whatever food we're putting in front of it. So believe you me, the enemy, the they, whatever you want to call it, knows that 100% knows it. And so what do? They spew out mostly evil, and then they'll twist it and they'll throw a little truth in there, and then it's all the rest is evil. So our spirits are being fed with horrible food. So if you're not consciously making the effort to feed it with truth, you're doomed, right? And so that's where our sick world is. And then, you look at somebody like Charlie Kirk, who was really, it was a ministry that he had. He wasn't, what's so funny is he's portrayed as this big political figure having political debate. If you watch most of his stuff, he was actually preaching the word of God to these kids on campus.
blue state. I got to stay in the battle because I'd be the tip of the spear, but I'm right up there. I'm one of the barbs, and fighting the battle. I posted it in the Purple Pill down in Eugene, Oregon, tomorrow. There, it's if you read it's pretty disgusting, really. They're just calling for violence, and I don't know when this is going to end. But you're right about I don't know when it's going to end. I know that God is going to win, but if we all realize that we went through 4 years of Joe Biden and that corrupt, sucky administration and everything that they did to this country to take it away. And it gave us a chance to refocus, and attack back. And I think we're going to win. We are winning. It's not as fast as I want. But anyway, I just wanted to come up and say hi and tell you I love your space, buddy.
I appreciate that, man. Doug, always great to have you up here and comment. And you brought something up that's interesting. Had we not had Trump, uh, uh, we all know he actually won, but had the corruption not happened and Trump, had been in office these last 4 years, I don't think the evil would have been as revealed as it was because he was robbed of that, if that makes sense. I'm grateful actually and thankful that they cheated and that we were able to expose what's really going on. And it's not just about the presidency and stuff. It's just the corruption altogether. It's a lot. All right. Shakes, you had your hand back up.
No way, Truth. You're running the show. You're doing a beautiful job. Like I say, breath of fresh air.
We can all use some fresh air, right? Especially if you all live in a city. Oh boy.
Amen. Now you're preaching. Now you're preaching. Amen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that, I've used this metaphor before, that movie Apollo 13, where they go out to land on the moon and everything that could possibly go wrong on that mission went wrong. And you see the flight director and he's trying to take control of the situation because the ship is crippled and all the flight controllers are losing it and they're panicked. And the flight director is very calm and he says, "Tell me what's good about this ship." And I think that's and he was able to get the ship back by what was right about the ship, not what was wrong. And what I love about Trump is his ability to stay calm. Like General Grant in Civil War, that was his biggest asset. He could walk across a battlefield with cannons going off, and he was calm under fire, and that inspires the troops because they see their leader is cool and collect. And we didn't see that in Biden. Well, Democrat, he's a lefty, but I think, this is just, again, my opinion, Donald Trump put out a post the other day. He said, "Trust the plan." And we all want everything right now. That's kind of how we're built, especially in 26. We want immediate satisfaction. I think Donald Trump's got this. It's not going to be easy, but I think he's got this. Because if God is for him, who can be against him?
Oh, amen to that. Dude, what's scary, man? You guys remember that whole crazy, hateful speech that Biden gave with the whole red backdrop and do you guys remember that? Like how freaky, what of a bad beam. That was so odd. And I don't think it got as much pushback as it should have. That was just craziness. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? That just unbelievably hateful speech.
Oh yeah, it was the way his wrinkles on his forehead. You were waiting for the horns to pop out. He looked very satanic. The red lighting, everything. It was so bad.
He was waving his fists in the air, screaming about MAGA extremists. I will never forget that speech. That was I can still picture him perfectly standing there with that red background. Truth. Let's talk about evil.
I was almost thinking like, is this a parody? Did they make an AI? Is this a joke? Like, it was so extreme and so bad. I could not believe it when I was watching it. I'm like, this can't be real. They're gonna stop and go, ah, we got you. It's a spoof. Like, it was real, man. That's, oh my God.
Well, those were some rough 4 years under Biden. I still remember in 2020 on election night, it wasn't a matter if Donald Trump was going to beat Joe Biden. It was a matter of how badly was he going to whip him. I had the popcorn, and the next thing I know, I'm watching the election unfold, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? We got a water leak? Oh, Maricopa County just called it, Joe, and it was just total chaos. And then the next day, all these votes that I saw him ahead, suddenly he was no longer ahead by hundreds of thousands. I mean, it was insane. And then they swore Joe in. They had all that fencing around DC, and our troops were out there. It was like, is this North Korea? How did we go from 4 years of Trump to this? And then the COVID. So it was rough under Biden. And now we've got Donald Trump back, and boy, I sure appreciate him.
Oh man, yeah. That was a scary time. And then for me and my wife personally, man, we almost didn't survive that. We literally went through all of our savings, maxed out credit cards because groceries were so outrageous. That was never in our budget. I'm on a fixed income with my Social Security and my veteran disability, right? And you can't get more out of it, and the prices of everything were so crazy that it broke us. My credit went to crap, because once you're maxing out on your credit cards, you're done, no matter you're making the payments or not. You know what I mean? So thank goodness we're out of that. We're starting to shift and things are turning around. And yeah, we should definitely focus on the accomplishments, focus on what is working, what is right, like you're saying, Terry, and that example of Apollo 13. But then that made me think. I watched something yesterday that made me crack up about some guy, talking about the lunar landings. It's like, you're telling me we barely had phones and it was black and white TV, but they somehow magically went up in a Coke can and landed on the moon and then suddenly launched from the moon with no infrastructure there. I mean, come on. It's pretty funny.
Oh my. Well, I think I obviously most of us in this space, we follow politics closely. There's something fascinating about it and terrifying all at once. And at the same time, what I try to do is balance it out to where I don't let it overly consume me. I still try to make sure that I'm giving attention to those people in my circle, like my kids and family, to make sure that I don't unintentionally zone them out because I'm so absorbed in politics. And that, I think that can happen. So anyway.
Yeah, that's weird. No, most of my life, I never give two craps about politics. And I think a lot of conservatives have always felt like that. Like, hey, as long as it doesn't come on my doorstep, I don't care. And now it's the total opposite. You have to care. You have to participate. You have to know what's going on. And I don't think I have shame or regret for not having cared before, but I don't know. Now you got to pay attention. Obviously, we always focus on local in your spaces. It does make a difference. That's where you can have an effect is locally, and then of course it goes on up. Boy, oh boy! Hey, the fish came back in lurking. I wonder if he's going to come up.
Dun 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 dun. I always want to play the Jaws music when you say that.
Yeah, who knows? We'll see if he decides to grace us, Mr. Marlin, with your presence. And I see Catherine's putting some stuff down in the bubble. She said, I still call and forever will call those 4 years the dark years or the dark ages revisited. I like that.
No truer words spoken. They were dark, but you know, we've got Trump now, and I'm just trusting the plan. I hate to sound so repetitive, but I think we've got better days ahead.
Now, I also saw some commentary regarding after Trump, what the winning ticket would be. And what it's been said, apparently, I think they said that Trump said it himself, was Marco Rubio and JD Vance. What are your thoughts on that? Because I think that's awesome.
Oh, could it be Rubio Vance? Could it be Vance Rubio? I don't know, but I do know this. I know that MAGA lives on past Donald Trump. We are MAGA. Donald Trump didn't elect himself. 75, 76 million people did that. Now, there's only one Donald Trump, and I think he'll still be active in campaigning for candidates even after he's no longer president. But I think Rubio or Vance would be a great president, either one of them. I'm wondering who the Democrats are planning on running. They're going to run Shapiro. They're going to run Fetterman. Nah, Fetterman's he's out of the loop. They'll probably run Gavin, Hair-Gel, Newsom.
Exactly. That would be so funny. That piece of crap. There's no way. Go ahead, Nick.
Gavin and AOC would be funny. I would love to see that ticket. That would be comical. I'm hoping for Vance and Rubio. That's just my personal opinion.
See, and I was thinking about that, Nika. Personally, I would say, to me, what would win the best, because JD is young. I think he's smart and bright and everything, but if he showed a little grace, put Marco Rubio in there as president, JD stays as vice president. Hopefully, we get 2 terms out of them, and then JD steps into presidency, and then we get another 2 terms. Man, come on! I think that would be awesome.
You got Hunter Biden on the Democratic ticket for $200, ain't takers?
Who's the running mate?
Let's see. How about AOC? Hunter Biden and AOC. What do you think about that?
I prefer to keep the cocaine out of the White House, goats.
Hey, said that wasn't his cocaine. He'd never leave it behind.
If AOC has 2 brain cells, they're both competing for 3rd place. If that's really who
Oh man. Good morning, Susie.
Good morning. I think the crazier the better. Here in Oregon, a couple of the incumbent Democrats lost their state seats in the state legislature to DSA people. These are the crazy ones. And I think the crazier the better. Let's let them look as bad as they can. Because it's rough. So yeah, let's pick the craziest ones. I thought Kamala was going to run again. No? Let's go Hillary. How about that?
Oh, God.
I wouldn't be surprised if she tried it again,
Well, she keeps telling me she's going to run in 28. She's going to make the big comeback.
Okay, Bill.
Bill, will you tell her to keep running, please?
Yeah, I hear people complain. I feel your pain, I do. But there's not a one of you that has to wake up with her every single day. Think about that.
Bill, let's be honest. Y'all don't sleep in the same bed and you haven't for years.
I do not have sexual relations with that woman. And that's the truth. I bet you can believe that.
Now we're at the Fun Friday part, guys. This is great.
I had to keep my mic muted. I was taking up too loud.
The thing about Bill is he has this, thing that Hillary could never have. He has a no. I'm not trying to elevate him. We both know he's corrupt. We all know he's corrupt, and he's a horn dog, right? He's a womanizer, and he's overall kind of a bad guy. But he has that folksy kind of charm that Hillary could never ever get. Do you remember when he was governor? I don't know if you remember, but she used to do that accent of Arkansas people, and then he lost his second term. I think she didn't realize she was mocking their constituents by doing that. How do you go from Chicago and then all of a sudden you've got an accent from Arkansas? I mean, she's such a phony and a fake.
Oh, yeah, dude. All the okay, so all right, so her era, that whole hippie movement. My wife and I were talking about this the other day. Man, to me, that is the modern day downfall. That we were already headed in a bad way with all the Marxism and stuff being infiltrated into this country, which McCarthy tried to put an end to. But then, in walks the whole hippie movement, the mid and late 60s and stuff like that. And those people are the ones that have destroyed this country. Those are the ones that ran for office, that have been in office, those hippies. And a hippie, I'm telling you, it ain't the free loving people. They are spoiled rich children. Mommy and daddy funded them to go and do all this crazy protesting and all the stuff they did, just like these kids are being paid to do it today. You can't do that without money. They were all funded to go cause a ruckus, basically. And they're doing the same damn thing today. And those are the ones that are paying these kids. If you're following what I'm putting out, I don't know who was first there.
Ladies first, Sue.
Why, thank you. You know what? You're right. It's boomer hippies are now funding the people that are protesting. Data Republic has done an incredible job of tracking all these people, and I hope the DOJ, the IRS, I hope they're all paying attention to Data Republican, because she is deep diving into these organizations, and they're 501c3s. And what is really interesting is this protest in Delaney stopped all of a sudden, like somebody turned the off switch on. And she proved why and how. And it's when Steve Bissent said that any organization that is giving grants, to these people who are becoming violent, throwing rocks and 2x4s at horses and blocking roads and doing all this stuff, can also be held liable for the activities that are going on, the violent activities that are going on. And all of a sudden, it's like an off switch. They all disappeared. How interesting is that? So I wanted to give you a little insight into how crazy Portland has gotten. The city of Portland has now banned foie gras, which is goose liver. They got nothing. They got homeless people everywhere. They got people shooting up, drugs all over the place in front of schools and everything else. But by God, no more goose liver pate. Hilarious.
It sucks anyway. Go ahead, Mad Dog, and we'll go to you now.
I just every day something else comes out about Portland, what they're banning or putting through. It's if you want to laugh and cry at the same time, just read the local news from Portland. It's insane. Wasn't it Hillary Clinton that said she carried a bottle of hot sauce in her purse, trying to placate to the Mexicans? I just thought that was funny when we were talking about Hillary.
Yeah, that's what she did. She carried a bottle of hot sauce with her when she go to campaign. And I want to recognize Apotha Carol down there. I told her I wanted to experiment with marijuana, and she said, "That's fine, Bill. Just don't inhale." God bless you, Apotha Carol.
I still can't. Yeah, I remember when he said that. Yeah, I smoked weed, but I didn't. That's the best he came up with, really.
That's why I like these gummies, because I can do a gummy and still say that, I'm not inhaling.
Oh my goodness. Go ahead, Zach.
Morning, guys. How you doing today? I think the ice has passed our little deal already, so it goes back to the House. Reconciliation bill, and hope everything is passed. Love you guys.
Yeah, sure. There's lots of legislation trying to be pushed through, stuff that we know, stuff that we don't know. Be very wary, be very careful, pay attention in your local area, because that's where it makes a big difference. Go to the meetings in the town halls and whatnot. Whether you speak or not, you gotta keep a pulse on what the heck is really going on. True Mega.
Hey, thanks for your time. And that was a great story. But I fell for it for sure. I thought it was all about Vietnam and like all we need is love. And it wasn't about Vietnam at all and stuff. I mean, but I've heard what you said too, that it was like paid for.
Yeah, my parents were in that era, and my mother was one of those hippies that her daddy had money and supported her roaming around the country and doing stupid crap, you know. And when you really look at it for what it really was, these were all spoiled, rotten, rich kids, and they were able to do what they did because they were funded. Now they're doing the same thing. It worked for them. Why not do it now? Because if you have a group of people that you can think that are organic, that attached to some kind of movement. I mean, they made a big damn mistake of treating our Vietnam vets the way they did. That exposed them for what they truly were. How disgusting that that's the only generation of veteran that was shit on and pissed on and made fun of and called baby killer. It was so horrifying. All war is hell. All wars, atrocious things happen, but don't treat our veterans with disrespect. Oh man, that was just that was to me the telltale sign that these people have no love in them. Talking about free love and no, it's all about them. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're not. None of that movement. But again, people are led to believe it was just about peace, man. And let's go to the concert and let's just sit in a big field and drop acid. And wow, life is so cool. Oh, makes me. I cannot stand hippies. I'm sorry. I can't stand them. I never will. I don't get it. If you're a peaceful person, that's fine. But the hippie movement was not what people were told it was.
Yeah, remember John Lennon with a huge parade and Yoko and all that? And he was like racking, the Beatles were racking off of that. I mean, that's right.
Go ahead, Susie.
Well, I had a question for Apostle Carol if she's able to come up. I don't know if she's in between patients or not, but
She's usually like
she's here.
driving or something, or with a client, but she tries to stick in there. When she can come up, she will. I've tried to throw her a mic, so when she can, I'm sure she will.
Anyway, I had a question about the way they do sleep apnea tests. My husband's had a CPAP for 20 years, but never got his machinery replaced. Now we have to try and get the machinery replaced. And they did this home test. Totally lame. Anyways, we're probably going black market on the CPAP because his doctor's office is insane. We've been trying for a month to get an appointment with a pulmonologist, and yeah, it's tough. So we're really glad we get on that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, VA. I don't know if you guys are using the VA, but they sent home one of those stupid testing things for me to try to monitor my sleeping patterns and all this kind of crap. And I did not sleep because I normally don't anyway. The entire night with that stupid contraption on me, and sent it back and they said, yeah, your sleeping patterns are fine. You slept just fine. We're like, no. Like, who the hell were you monitoring, bro? I didn't sleep at all last night. What the hell are you talking about? Anyway.
Well, this is just a pulse ox. It's not even like it's just a finger thing, right? And it checks your blood oxygenation and your heart rate. It doesn't check your breathing at all. And it assumes, by the way, those were tested on 40 people as being 100% accurate. Go figure, right? Anyway, so yeah, my husband had severe sleep apnea 20 years ago, and now he's just and this machine is making a lot of noise. It's like really bad. It's like not doing well. So anyway, I did find other ways to go around the system because it's just good. That's good.
I got a couple little breaking news. I don't know if you guys covered it. It's just three little things. U.S. State Department warns Americans in the entire Middle East potential for military hostilities is one of them. The other one is video IDF soldier testifies under oath, told to stand down during October 7th. And the other one is U.S. brokered Israel and Lebanon ceasefire demands Hezbollah disarm while Israel concedes nothing. But I know Lebanon said as far as Lebanon, Iran wants every IDF soldier out of there before they even talk, is what I heard. So it just seems like things are getting worse.
Yeah, I'm the wrong guy to ask about that, quite frankly, man. I'm sorry. I just don't. I know that it's an issue. I know that things need to be dealt with, but I'm just concerned about our country, America first, all this other stuff going on in the world. I know that we're kind of the force to be reckoned with, the ones that are trying to keep the peace all over the world, which is what do you call that? A responsibility, I guess, that just kind of comes with being as powerful as we are. But man, all that nonsense going on, let's get our stuff straight, right? Let's anyway, I don't know, man. Not to rain on the parade here. It's just I have no interest in overseas right now. I mean, call me crazy, except of course the interest of our military that are serving and doing a great job keeping the peace, so to speak. But I don't know. Call me wrong. Whatever.
Well,
I just go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that, yesterday they put the Save America Act on the floor of the Senate. It failed 52 nays, 48 yays, and McConnell, Murkowski, Collins, and Thune, not Thune, I'm sorry, Tom Tillis were the nays for the Republicans. And we had a speaker yesterday. It was like, what can we do about California? What can you do? Well, Article 1, Section 4 talks about how the states can create their own elections and whatnot with the covenant that the Congress can step in and regulate at will. And that's what we see going on in California, how they've gone so far rogue. I remember when we elected Trump, the two main things was we wanted voter integrity, election integrity, and we wanted a secure border. Those were the two main things. And just to watch that vote fail yesterday was just very disheartening, because if we can't self-govern, then what are we at that point?
Terry, let's be honest. Tillis is retiring. He doesn't give a crap, and he's on the take. I'm sorry, but he is. He votes with Democrats every time. And McConnell has absolutely no clue what's even going on anymore. The guy hasn't for years. I don't know why they keep putting him back in there. Come on, people, wake up.
Didn't he die like 10 years ago and they're like he's weakened at Bernie's kind of thing?
I just had a question about bets. Truth. This is just a real question. I'm not trying to say anything wrong. I'm just like, if you see like things going bad in your country, is it okay for you to say stuff, or like would they screw with your pension or something?
We have the freedom to say whatever the hell we want, But to any American, veteran or not, if your government's a piece of crap, call it out. If they try to mess with any kind of financial stuff, I'm sure that's probably inevitably going to happen depending on who's quote unquote in power. But no, the moment I feel like I can't speak is the moment we lost this country, we lost our freedom. Everybody has the duty to call out things that are wrong or evil. It's your duty as a citizen of this country.
So, for example, the SAVE Act, it'd be nice to see a bunch of vets out there saying, hey, we need our country to be saved. And not, I mean, just peacefully, just presence out there, like a lot of vets that serve this country, like, dude, we need to save our country. Then American people might wake up, but we don't see them out there. I was wondering maybe why they're not out there. Or maybe there is groups I don't see. I'm sure there is.
Oh, there's a tons of people that are being, whether that's on social media or showing up to their local areas or whatnot, but we're not funded. I can't afford, quite frankly, to go out to DC. I just can't. I don't have the money. I don't have a Soros backing me up, paying for my damn hotel and transportation and giving me food and water and the whole nine. I don't have that. If I did, if it was paid for, sure, yeah, I'll go there. But really, what's it gonna do ultimately? These people are paid. They don't give two shits about what we have to say. They're not for the people. They're not. They never have been. And it's a shame. We want it to be that way, but until we fix our elections, which is the catch-22 here, we're trying to get legislation to do that partially. But the bigger problem is the whole process just to even run for office. The fact that it costs millions of dollars that you have to raise, which where's that money come from? It ain't from the people. People are giving $10, 20, 50, 100, maybe 1,000, depending on who they're behind. But the millions and millions and millions of dollars, those are all given from those big groups, the big corporations. Hey, I'll give you this money if you push this through. Hey, I'll give you this money if you don't push this through. It's corrupt. And until we put a stop to that, but they hide under the guise, those groups, of the, First Amendment. Well, we have the right to assemble and back up who we want to back up. Nah, you're twisting and turning. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Mad Dog.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere yesterday or the day before that there was 1 billion exposed funding these No Kings and all these other rallies, Antifa, however you want to say it. There was something I just posted in the pill. What was it? Let me find it here. It was the Senate has officially passed legislation to surge into arresting illegal aliens. I don't know if that was the one I was. Oh, it was this one. In a massive win for President Trump, the Senate voted 52 to 47 to fully fund the Department of Homeland Security and ICE. And this does not ban the 1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund that Trump was pushing out. I think that's good news. I just hope that the Congress passes that. That'd be a good thing.
Right. Well, also, too, I think people are starting to realize, I've been saying it for years, but this whole Soros thing, when people say it's Soros funded, what's sickening and scary is it's funded with our money. He manipulated the entire system, got all these NGOs, got all this government money given to him through subsidies. Sorry, weird word. So it's our money that's paying for all this crap. That's what's so great. The majority of it. He ain't a stupid man. He's a very smart man, but he's evil and corrupt as hell. Mix that with all the people that he's associated with, and they have totally manipulated our system. That's what most people unfortunately do with that whole power. no matter how good intended anybody that we vote in goes there, it's a machine that's really hard to break. You know, it just keeps on going, and there's only so much that we can do, and there's only so much that one person like Trump, and no matter how many good people he's got around him, there's a bunch of evil people. You know, it's a constant battle. Like we were talking about earlier. This is essentially good versus evil. Always has been, always will be. You know, um, so we keep up the fight. We keep our good attitude. We try to focus on what has been accomplished. There has been a lot of things accomplished that we just don't talk about, you know, and it's a damn shame we're focusing all on negative shit. Go ahead, Jude.
Yeah, I mean, what would our founding fathers think of this funding these congressmen receive from different groups? And they're so influenced, they don't even concentrate on freaking our constitution, our country, right? It's just ridiculous. Just for example, I mean, the military, they take funding from them. Of course, they're going to support war. Then, I mean, I don't think funding should be allowed. And I'm really getting sick of hearing this J word, the J word, the J word. Why don't they just say what you said? The machine, the machine, the machine. It's not the J word. It's we're letting this machine take our country over, and we should just stop that. I mean, I heard in like UK or something, Europe, you can't even take any funding if you're like in the parliament. So.
Well, they always find a way to do it, though.
We've loved when Nancy Pelosi throws a fit over that, and she enriched herself so much as a congresswoman. She got run down yesterday by one of the My Pillow reporters. That was a hilarious exchange between them. But to Truth's point, it used to be that if you served in Congress, it was a real pain in the butt. You volunteered your time, you left your farm, your law practice, whatever, and you went and spent a couple of years in D.C. And now it's a matter of, who's going to get millions of dollars to sit in that seat. Well, to be a Democrat, you don't really necessarily have to be extremely intelligent. You just have to repeat the talking points with sincerity, And it goes on with the Republican side too. We saw when Carrie Lake ran in Arizona, one of our RNC people offered her a $50,000 bribe to just withdraw. I mean, so it's money is the root of all evil. And if we had reps that would go out and serve their constituents as they swear they would do, they take that oath, it would be such a better country. But people are just corrupted,
Well, dude, so okay, you have to serve one term as a senator or 3 terms as a House representative, and you have full retirement the rest of your life, full medical, dental, everything paid. 6 years, that's it. Had I really known that when I was younger, I would have been a politician. Like, holy crap, really? That's all I got to do? 6 years and I get retirement the rest of my life, 100%? The same paycheck I was getting while I was working, I'm getting when I'm not working? Come on. Sign me up for that. I didn't get that in the military. That's for damn sure. I had to fight for 5 freaking years just to get my disability. On proven stuff in my damn military record showing what happened. 5 freaking years where I was on the street living homeless, messed up in my own damn head, It's just, it makes me sick to my stomach thinking about that.
I hear you. Well, the upside, we've seen some rhinos unseated. Cassidy, Raffensperger ran for governor in Georgia. He got slapped down, John Cornyn. Wow. So there's some good things happening. Truth, there is. Right. I've always believed that elected positions are like, minimum wage jobs. They were never meant to be long-term opportunities. And what's that saying? Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that's what we see happening with these incumbents.
Well, so those guys that you're just talking about, Terry, that got voted out, right? They have retirement for the rest of their damn life. The same paycheck they're getting now, when they're gone, guess what? They still get it. Doesn't that piss you off?
Right. And it's obviously there's a problem there. And to the other point, don't think for a second that Cassidy and Massey and all those people that know they're lame ducks, they aren't going to try to torpedo Trump. Why they still until January, I guess, 21st, 2027.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, more so now, right? Now that they know they're not in, they got nothing to lose. Why not sabotage on your way out, right?
Yep.
When they say the war machine gets paid by both sides, is that true or false?
I'd say it's true.
Yeah, no matter how you look at it, I mean, even as a stock, if you know anything about stocks and options, and you can teach a win on either way, whether it falls or it goes up, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I pulled it up on Grok and it said it's not supposed to, but there is times in history where it's definitely happened, and people do say that is what it said, basically.
Yeah, life's a good thing, isn't it? Just thinking about all this crap. Anyway, we're trying to make it fun, though. It's supposed to be Friday fun, and I'm going to end this space. I should have ended it a while ago. But Marlon, you're lurking, bro. You've been lurking this whole time. If you want to come up, now's the time because I'm going to shut this here down.
I think he said that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I said I was going to say I saw Allie jump in here too.
Oh, hey, Allie, take a mic if you haven't. She's awesome.
Do you have an opinion on the merge truth, or you don't get into that?
Merge? What merge? What are you talking about?
The Israel and, they've been screaming about it the last 3 days on Spaces, how Israel's merging with the United States military. I think we've already been merged with them, but I think this is more than it's deeper than a regular, like we do share information with other allies, but this is supposed to be like way deeper or something like that.
No idea. Not interested. No offense, man. I just, yeah. This, again, distraction after distraction, stuff that really doesn't concern me personally. You know what I mean? I just like to keep, quite frankly, like I said earlier in the dang space, of all the stuff to focus on. Having these spaces and talking about politics, it's not my forte, man. It really isn't. I do it just to help Marlon out. He's great. He's a lot better at it than me. He's well informed. I just want to focus on God. That's not to sound like simple or anything like that, but all of this nonsense, it's all distraction, man, trying to get us away from the real, the truth, the only truth there is.
Yeah, that we all have love in our hearts and peace in our minds, and that's how it's supposed to be. But they just distract us and distract us. But we are all born with love for everything and peace for everything, and they just slowly take it away all our life. And that's why church is important. I mean, I'm not religious, but I love to go to church anyway. I love all different denominations. I can go to like Oakland, the deepest black church is fun. I mean, it's different kind. They're screaming, they're jumping. People have the spirit in them. So I don't think we should judge. I think religion has caused a lot of tension in the world. I mean, I don't think we should be religious, but I mean, you should be able to practice any religion you want, but like trying to get other people and willing to kill over it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. If God was your father and you were all the kids, he doesn't want people fighting and killing. I mean, you wouldn't want your kids to die over different thoughts.
Well, unfortunately, the world we live in is full of religion, which I hate religion. I don't consider myself, even calling myself a Christian, quite frankly. I read the Bible. And if you do read the Bible, you realize that that label Christian was given to us where it used to be called the way. People who followed Christ when he was on this earth, they called it the way because he himself said, I am the way, the truth, the life. Anyway, but yeah, religion unfortunately has been a big evil in this world to separate, divide, the whole nine. Just, simply believe in your creator and do what your creator asks of you. It's pretty simple. Anyway, for the people that are up here, any kind of final thoughts before I wind this down here?
I always wait for Nika to go first.
I was waiting for other people to jump in just in case. I didn't want to offend anybody. Sorry. I apologize. I've been in recovery mode today. I'm just finally getting some food into me. And now my dog is going to be a little jealous because I'm talking to you guys instead of to him. If you haven't already, please go down to the Purple Pill and like and share the space out so people that couldn't jump in this morning can listen to it later. We appreciate everybody that came up to speak. Whiskey, cut it out. My apologies. He's very jealous because Mama just came home late last night and he wants my full attention, obviously. So, Truth, thanks for having me up here. Terry, great to be up here with you guys. Thank you, everybody that came up to speak. We appreciate you. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
I'm dying. They do get jelly when their masters are on the phone. They want 100% of their attention at all times. Of your attention, Nika. And Nika, you did have a big day yesterday. You were coming back on your trip, and I used to love to fly, but boy, it's just a major pain. Stop and wait, hurry and wait through the whole airport. And but good to see you up here, and always good to see you. Always see Truth as well. Thank you for throwing me the mic, and thanks to everybody for joining us. That's the great thing about spaces is, like-minded people can come together and they're like, are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing? And that's what I love so much about spaces. So that's it. I'll shut up. I'll be quiet. I'll just put a cork in it.
Do you see what I see?
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, as usual, it's great to have everybody here. I'm going to cut it a little early, like I said, but this is Marlon's space that he has been doing for over 4 years now. But whenever he can't get up here and host, then we're stuck up here hosting ourselves. And dude, the same person keeps trying. You're not getting up here. Sorry. Anyway, so join us on Monday, starting 9 a.m. ish. Eastern time, and the mystery of whether it's going to be Marlon or myself. Yeah, just hold your breath because I have no idea. Go ahead, Zach.
Let's go pray for one another, follow everybody, and Rachel Rigo reality check is next.
Yep, we're in a reality check daily. So everybody came up today. Do always appreciate it. I always try to, end these spaces on a note of don't sweat the small stuff. Just remember everything is small stuff. Put God first in your life. It really does make a difference. Marlon would always say at the end of his spaces, God bless y'all. God bless America. Don't work too hard. We'll see you all. Enjoy your weekends. See you all on Monday. Thanks again, Nika and Terry and Mad Dog and everybody that came up here and contributed. Julie, Marlon just sitting there, not coming up. Anyway, we'll see you guys. God bless America.